Despite being one of the most important elements of the Dragon Ball franchise, we don't really know a whole lot about the Saiyan people, specifically the female Saiyans. And that's my question today: is it possible that the female Saiyans are or were the dominant sex within the Saiyan race? Now before you come at me with the hellfire of 1,000 burning suns, I ask for you to hear me out. Now it's common knowledge that Vegeta's father was stated to be the king of all Saiyans. Now this would suggest a monarchical government, which historically suggests a patriarchal society in which males hold the dominant power over females. However, we have learned a whole lot about Saiyan females over the last couple of years that we haven't known throughout the entire run of Dragon Ball. With both Dragon Ball Minus expressing the relatively low population of the Saiyan race, and the Toyotaro manga explaining that it's Chi-Chi and Bulma's strong nature that attracts Goku and Vegeta respectively. Now while the canonicity of these examples are definitely a subject to question at this point, it offers a unique perspective to understanding the hierarchy of the Saiyan race when using real-world examples. For example, in 2003, researchers analyzed the evolutionary changes in primates and found that the numbers of males lag behind the numbers of females at a relatively consistent level. This is because the number of females in any given group tends to be larger than that of their male counterparts. Basically, this discrepancy means that women are usually at the forefront of social evolutionary developments, most notably communal living. It has been theorized that female primates were the first to engage in communal living as a sisterhood of sorts, not only due to the relative ease of locating food and protecting from local predators, but to support healthy reproduction habits amongst the species, because males would have to seek out these sisterhood groups of females. Plus, the aforementioned discrepancy within the population deterred from any dominance of an alpha male and increased the chances of a diverse gene pool. So if we look at it this way, there is real-world evidence to suggest that female Saiyans are responsible for building the society that we have heard about throughout the series. But how does that make them the dominant sex? Well, to try to answer that question, we're going to have to look to the closest real-world example to the Saiyan race, the Spartans. By the end of 400 BCE, Spartan women owned approximately 1/3 of all Spartan land. Daughters inherited along with sons, and young girls competed in sports with young men. But the war society propagated by the Spartan people meant that there was even greater discrepancy between males and female populations than other evolutionary standards would suggest. But this actually gave women in the Spartan society a historically disproportionate dominance in society, including politics. So much so that the other Greek nations would look to the Spartan people and feel like their women had too much power in society as a whole. And they thought that the power of the women in that society was ultimately going to lead to its downfall. This isn't even to mention that the relative absence of men in normal society gave the Spartan women more freedom to take charge in almost everything except for the king's military. Kinda like how we've only seen King Vegeta and his military in any type of flashbacks or anything that Vegeta has to say about the Saiyan people. It's just really interesting to think that maybe the female Saiyans were actually the ones running everything behind the scenes. We just don't know it yet because we don't have that perspective from anyone besides Vegeta. Now granted, none of this supports or suggests that the Saiyan women are in fact the dominant race of the Saiyan people. And we can almost certainly guarantee that Toriyama never intended anyone to think about the development of the Saiyan society in any particular way. But I just find it interesting to see how real-world examples might give us an insight to how the development of the Saiyan race actually worked and who was actually the more dominant of each sex. What do you think? Do you think the Saiyan women were the dominant sex of the Saiyan society or not? Tell me below. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and have a nice day, everybody.